Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival with Lone Debater 7, and today I just wanted to talk about some settings stuff that I kind of figured out. So last time I kind of talked about how the resource deposits weren't yielding as much, so after doing some reading I thought it was going to be a difficult fix. You actually can just go in from the load screen here to difficulty and you can change the amount of ore per deposit. So changing that to rich does increase the amount. You can also change the auto miner depletion if you want to play with mass volume limits turned on. You can turn that on as well even after the game is created. Now with all of this being said, if you've already loaded the file one time, these settings are only going to take effect in systems that you warp to that haven't been loaded in yet, so just bear that in mind. I also did a little bit of gathering and stuff like that, so we've got some resources, went into the creative game, built a new like miner type ship that I'm going to be working on, but while this loads, we're going to go ahead and cut here and I'll come back in once the game is finished loading. Alrighty guys, so the game finally loaded in. I'm on a moon right now. There's a bunch of really good resources, so if we take a look at the map, there's a bunch of zirconium, erestrium, there's gold, there's copper, cobalt, silicon, promethium. So quite a bit of stuff. There is a lot of Xerox like defenses on here, so there's advanced rocket defenses. So this zirconium deposit I used my ship to mine in, so I have changed the capital vessel just a little bit to accommodate this. So I did take a little journey to a high gravity world, which my ship barely could escape. It costs like a full tank of fuel to leave that planet. So in order to be able to get up to my small vehicle, I extended this out a couple blocks, put in this elevator, which comes up to the top and puts me on the top of the ship, so I can come up here and fly this bad man around. Now I put some laser drills on this ship so I could mine with it, and I needed to readjust some of the thrusters and stuff like that. I did get shot by that one of those advanced rocket bases or whatever, so it blew off the back end. But I'm ready to upgrade this ship anyway to the new one that I designed, so I am going to retrieve these lasers off of this because they should give us quite a bit of the components that we need in order to build this blueprint. So just so I don't die from radiation, I'm just going to stand inside here. But let's take a look at our blueprints and I can show you what I have built. So called it Space Miner. It's basically just a block type ship, but it is effective. I tested it a little bit just to see how well it mines. It does mine fairly well. So there's the 6 lasers, which this guy has 6 as well. Almost got everything covered. I do need to go in and build some small bridges, which I did gather some gold, so let's show off what we've collected. So got a fair amount of zirconium now, a little bit of erestrium. I salvaged a couple of CVs that were lying around, got some steel, some random components, and then we've got magnesium I've mined out, titanium I mined out a little bit. So we've got some resources anyway. Let's go ahead and start building these bridges though, because that's pretty important. So we need 16 of them. I should have enough gold. I have just over 1,000 and it's 5 per gold, or per bridge rather, so I think there will be enough. I am going to salvage the rest of this ship while we're here, just because I don't think I'm not going to use this once I build the new one, because literally this ship was only being used to go mine deposits, which I shouldn't realistically need to do. I could have waited a little bit and used it to gather up we might need a little bit of copper and iron and stuff like that, but I think we'll be okay. I'm probably going to go back to our home planet just because I've been flying around for a while, and I think I need to get more lumber for nitrocellulose so I can build more armor, or ammo rather. So we're just going to gather all these blocks, throw them in the factory. It should help a little bit since forgot I had pentaxid in there. Fun stuff. I should have maybe emptied the ammo controller before decoring this, but that's okay. we're just gathering all these little bits and bobs. It should help decrease the factory production time and give us some of the resources we're going to need. What was in there? Oh, that's all the ammo. Okay. I don't have space to pick that up right now because of all these blocks. But we are getting, you know, like component parts, which will be helpful. So like cobalt and all that good stuff is gonna help decrease some of those resources that are remaining. I'm thinking that if we put all this stuff that we're harvesting up inside of the factory, we're gonna be pretty close to having the ship built. Now I thought about using combat steel because I did mine out a fair amount of titanium, but I didn't, just because it felt like it was gonna be too heavy. So there's that, but I'm just gonna put all this stuff into the factory. It doesn't hurt anything. In fact, it decreases the craft time on a lot of stuff. So this should help us maybe complete a couple more of the resource requirements. Like, we already have the iron and titanium good to go, but like the copper and stuff like that, putting in these electronics and rocket launchers and all that stuff should help. Now, there isn't any weapons on this new small vehicle, which it should be okay. Like, I'm not too worried about that. But something worth mentioning, it is strictly speaking a mining ship. So I think that is going to be everything we can fit inside. Cool. We basically destroyed that ship, but that's fine as well. We've got 4 of our bridges built, so that is kind of useful. I'm just going to throw the pentaxid inside. The other benefit of this new ship is it does actually have a shield generator on it, so we can, you know, even though the blocks aren't as strong as combat steel or whatever, it's not going to matter that much because there's going to be a shield around it to protect it if it gets shot at. So that's kind of what we got. Part of me kind of wants to go get some Arrestrium or copper or something. Let's actually take a look at this and see. So I don't need those motors I can put in. So I need some silicon, some copper, cobalt, and then Arrestrium Zirconium I probably have already. I just need to build the ingot, so we'll do, it outputs 10, so like 3 of those, 3 of those. Well, let me look in this box and see, do we actually have the copper, or have some copper? We do have some copper, and I think that was like a few hundred, so I think it was like 600 that I need. Yeah, pretty close, so we'll do that. Silicon I only need like 30, so put that in the queue, and then we need some cobalt. Make some of that. And I think that is everything. So this just has to craft for a little bit, and then we can, you know, spawn that in off the factory. While I was going around, you know, harvesting stuff, I did hit level 25. So something worth mentioning about Reforged Eden is 25 is still the top of the level scaling, so you can't go higher than level 25, but you do still accrue unlock points. And the reason why you do that is because you've got all these progenitor researches that you can do. So like this one, the Voidium, which is going to be our first target, takes 1,000 points, so we still need, you know, 300 to do that. And realistically, I need 3,002 points so I can get Voidium, advanced Voidium, get this drill and the scanner. That way I can actually harvest the Voidium, because I did find some. It's actually marked with the waypoint. So down there I found a planet with some Voidium crystals on it. That stuff is pretty good. That's how you get dark matter and all these other things. So like, it's supposedly a pretty good find, more or less, to know where some Voidium is before we actually, you know, need it, type of a thing. So I'm just going to refuel the ship, because when you run the advanced constructor, it does burn through the energy, but that's primarily because the power requirement for it increases a lot on the ship. So I could get some more cobalt, but I kind of want to wait to get a new mining ship before I harvest anything. So even though I have the richness turned up, it appears that the drops from ore is pretty much the same when I'm using just my laser drill or whatever. So I want to get the mining ship rebuilt because those do drop a lot more. That's why I was able to gather like thousands of resources and stuff like that, is because I put some mining lasers on my ship. So if you're struggling with a similar thing, you need to gather a lot of resources or whatever, just take a look at getting the mining lasers unlocked for small vehicles and build a little small vehicle mining ship type thing, and you'll be good to go. But since I do need to get some more plant fiber, I think I am just going to go back to our home planet for a little bit so I can harvest up some lumber to use for plant fibers, that kind of stuff. But anyway, just kind of wanted to update you on where we're at in the game. When I spawn in the ship, we will come back at that point and kind of show off the new ship that we've got and everything. So, see you in a couple minutes. Alright, so we've got our blueprint finished now. I built the rest of the stuff just on the ship. Came back to the home planet, gathered about 1,000 lumber so I could restock our ship, also built some ammo for our cannon turrets, but here we are. This is our space miner vehicle. So nice and long. It's got 6 laser drills on the front with some lights, and this is kinda what it looks like. So we'll fill that up, we'll fill that up, we'll fill well, I need to get some pentaxid to fill up the shields, but more or less it's relatively maneuverable, right? And then as far as drilling goes, it drills a hole big enough that you can kind of, you know, fly the ship in and still be able to get out without too much difficulty. So when you're looking to build like a small vehicle that's capable of mining for you, kind of like this one, you want to make sure that you've got drills covering the height, width, and the height and width of the ship, more or less. That way you can fly back out. Otherwise, it'll be kind of a pain in the ass to use. So this is our version of a space miner. I know it's not painted, textured, or anything like that, but honestly, I don't really think that it matters all too much. I was more concerned about making sure it would work. It doesn't actually need a whatchamacallit, ammo container on this, but I didn't feel like breaking the whole ship apart just to pull off one block type of a thing, so I didn't. And that's why that's on there. Initially I was going to try to leave some, like, just one turret on it, but I didn't really have the CPU space, and even if I did, not really worth it necessarily. Like, I'm just going to rely on the shields to keep it safe. So I'm going to make some pentaxid in here. That way we can charge up the shields and everything for this. But now that we've got our ship built, we are ready to go back out into space and warp between stars, and we can actually mine with a little bit easier time and everything like that. Now that we've got lumber on the ship as well, I also picked up some of the water containers that I had and a little bit more oxygen, just because those are a little bit tougher to get while you're in space. So we should be good for a while. We won't have to come back to our base. I did try, while the blueprint was producing, to farm some levels by breaking those big rocks. Unfortunately, it does not give you unlock points. So my guess is, in order to get more of those, you actually have to do like combat type stuff, which is fine. I just thought I'd give it a shot anyway to see, because if you can, you know, just mine rocks and use the XP gains from that to satisfy the unlock point gain or whatever, that would have been pretty cool. But that is not actually a thing, so if you're gonna need more unlock points, you better find some stuff to fight, more or less, and that's kind of how that works. So to get the 3,000 points that we need, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but it shouldn't be too bad. But anyway, guys, we kind of got done what I wanted to today. Just wanted to get that new space miner built. Next time we'll probably take a look at trying to get some auto miners set up and everything like that. But if you enjoyed the episode today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always, and until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.